The NBA championship. With every NBA player, coach, owner, franchise, you name it, everyone wants a piece of this status, but only so few actually get to attain it. Some teams make it all the way without much resistance. Some teams fight through the thick and thin to win it all. And sometimes, the team that thinks they're going to win it all will have a complete meltdown and see their championship dreams evaporate in just a couple days. In this video, I'm going to be going over the top 5 NBA teams that choked in the NBA playoffs. Cue the intro. Number 5, we got the 2016 Golden State Warriors. I'm sure you guys are all familiar with this one, but it had to make the list. Best regular season of all time, first ever unanimous MVP in Steph Curry, starting the season off on a 24-game win streak after winning the championship the year prior. I don't think anybody thought this team wasn't winning it all at the time. The Warriors ended up rematching the team they beat in the finals last year, the Cleveland Cavaliers, but that year both rosters were fully healthy. The Warriors won Game 4 of that series on the road to take a commanding 3-1 series lead in the NBA Finals. However though, Draymond Green would get suspended for Game 5 for an accumulation of flagrant fouls in the playoffs after slapping LeBron in the nuts in the dying minutes of Game 4. Could have easily been avoided, but it happened. And not only did the Warriors miss Draymond's defense, Kyrie and LeBron dropped 41 apiece and stole Game 5 on the road. And things would only go downhill from there. The Warriors lost all momentum in the series. They would go on to lose Game 6 in Cleveland and then lose Game 7 on their home floor after LeBron's all-time great block and Kyrie's clutch 3 in the final minute. Not only did the Warriors just blow a 3-1 lead, but they were the first and still the only team in NBA history to blow a 3-1 lead in the NBA Finals. Cleveland won their first NBA championship and LeBron brought the chip back home like he promised. I have the Warriors at the number 5 spot though because they did win the title the year before and they would go on to win the next 2 seasons. So I guess we could say they did a good job of putting this behind them. Number 4, the 2016 Oklahoma City Thunder. After the Thunder missed the playoffs in 2015 due to Durant missing most of the season with a foot injury, and Durant going into the last year of his contract before becoming a free agent, 2016 had to be the year for the Thunder to win with all their bad luck in the past. But that bad luck just didn't want to leave this organization. They finished the season with a very quiet 55-27 record as the Warriors' historic 73-win season got all the attention. They got past the Mavs easily in the first round and would be matched up against the 67-win San Antonio Spurs in the second round. The Thunder would steal 2 games in San Antonio and finish off the series at home in 6. The Thunder were now up against the previous entry on this list, the 73-win Warriors, and would this series be one for the ages? The Thunder would steal Game 1 in Golden State and go up 3-1 in the series after destroying the Warriors at home in back-to-back games. At the time, none of us could believe what was happening. KD and Russ taking out a 67-win team in the second round and being 1 win away from beating the greatest regular season team of all time. This really looked like the year for the Thunder. The Warriors didn't lose back-to-back games all season and they just got demolished in back-to-back games and are now 1 game away from being sent home. But remember when I said bad luck just doesn't want to leave this organization? This is where it would strike at the absolute worst time for them. The Thunder would go on to lose Game 5, but in Game 6, the Thunder would have all the momentum. They would practically lead the entire game. But this was when Game 6 Klay was born, as he sucked all the energy out of the building, draining 3 after 3 after 3. Klay would hit a dagger 3 to take the lead in the final minutes as the Warriors just absolutely stole that game from the Thunder and would steal their ticket to the NBA Finals after beating the Thunder in Game 7. The Thunder just blew a 3-1 series lead against the best regular season team of all time, and just to make matters even worse, KD would join the Warriors right after they lost in the finals. During the KD and Russ era in OKC, this loss to the Warriors had to be the biggest disappointment for them. Number 3, we got the 2015 Los Angeles Clippers. This team was arguably the best roster that the Clippers have ever had, with the names of Blake Griffin, CP3, DeAndre Jordan, JJ Redick, and the 3-time 6th Man of the Year award winner, Jamal Crawford. The Clippers would finish the season with a 56-26 record and 3rd in the Western Conference. They would go on to beat the Spurs in a very competitive 7-game series as Chris Paul hit a game-winning floater over Tim Duncan with 1 second left on the clock. They would go on to play the Houston Rockets in the second round, and to many people, the Clippers were heavily favored to win this series, and it was definitely looking like it, with a blowout win in Game 4 of the series to take a commanding 3-1 lead. The Clippers would go on to lose Game 5, and in Game 6, the Clippers would have a 19-point lead with 2 minutes left in the third. It was looking like the Clippers were heading to their first conference finals in franchise history at the time, and to play the Warriors, who they beat in a very entertaining 7 games the year prior. But this was when things would go all downhill for the Clippers. With an insane run led by Josh Smith and Corey Brewer with James Harden on the bench, the Rockets went from being down 19 to winning the game by 12 in the fourth quarter. This one had to sting for the Clippers, as they only scored 5 points in the final 6.5 minutes of the game. And to make matters worse, the Clippers would go on to lose Game 7 in Houston, and the 3-1 lead was blown just like that. Not only did we not get to see this Clippers team face the Warriors in the conference finals, we never got to see these teams match up in the playoffs since 2014. And I'm sorry Clipper fans, but you guys made this list twice. At the number 2 spot, we got the 2020 Los Angeles Clippers. The Clippers had just formed one of the deadliest looking duos by acquiring Kawhi Leonard in free agency and Paul George via trade at the exact same time in the 2019 offseason. The Lakers had just acquired Anthony Davis to form a duo of him and LeBron. And this was really looking like the battle of LA, with the two best teams in the West being the Clippers and the Lakers that year. The Clippers finished second with a 49-23 record with a shortened season due to COVID. The Clippers got past the superstar and Luka and the Mavs in a difficult 6 games in the first round. In the next series, they would play the 3rd-seeded Denver Nuggets. They would take a commanding 3-1 series lead, and with the Lakers waiting for them in the conference finals, it looked like we were finally going to get that dream matchup we all wanted. But this series would turn around real quick. The Clippers would blow a 4th quarter lead in both Game 5 and 6 and lose both of them. And then in Game 7, they would be up at halftime, but would suffer another embarrassing loss, this one by 15 points, losing 104-89. The Clippers just absolutely got humiliated and blew another 3-1 series lead. Not only did we not get to see this Clippers team face the Lakers in the conference finals, but 2020 was undoubtedly the Clippers' best year to win it all so far, as they cannot stop dealing with injuries of late. If they can stay healthy though, I can see the Clippers in 2023 making some noise. But going to our number 1 spot on this list, we're doing a little throwback here with the 1995 Phoenix Suns. The Suns were one of the best teams in the early to mid 90s, and 1995 was no different, as they finished the season with a 59-23 record with a roster of Charles Barkley, Dan Marley, Kevin Johnson, and Danny Manning. The Suns would easily sweep the Trailblazers in the first round, and would then play the 6th-seeded Houston Rockets, who just upset the 60-win Jazz in the first round, and were also defending champions at the time. The Suns though would take a 3-1 series lead, and with Jordan and the Bulls being eliminated in the second round by the Magic in the Eastern Conference, the championship window was wide open for the taking. The Suns, however, would lose the next 3 games, and in Game 7 they would give up a wide open game-winning 3-pointer to Mario Elie in the dying seconds of the game. This was a heart-wrenching loss for the Suns, as not only did they blow the 3-1 series lead against the 6th-seeded Rockets, but the Rockets would go on to beat the Spurs in the Western Conference Finals and sweep the Magic in the NBA Finals to win back-to-back championships. 1995 really could have been the year for the Suns, but just one mishap on defense could turn your whole season around in the blink of an eye. Thank you guys so much if you made it to the end of this video. It means a lot. Drop a like and subscribe for more NBA content just like this one, and I'll see you guys in the next video.